Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my co-ordinate commentary Ashton, and this is our Lucha Underground review. And yes, this was a true episode of Lucha Underground. Not that last week wasn't. Last week was amazing. One show, one match. But when I mean a true episode of Lucha Underground, I mean you got everything you love. You got multiple matches. You got cinematics. And I felt like this is a very productive episode. So much cool shit happened here. So much for the future was laid out in this episode. I think Lucha Underground knew. It's like, okay, last week it's one show, one match. But then the week after, we're coming out guns blazing. We're letting everybody know the heat that we're packing. And I cannot wait for the remainder of this season. Now we're going back to the days where it's like, oh, now only a week until the next Lucha Underground. Don't take my word for it, though. Let's hand it over to my co-ordinate commentary here. What'd you think of Lucha Underground tonight?
Oh, this was such a wonderful episode. I mean, every episode's wonderful, but this episode, this felt like, okay, was the appetizer. This is real, like the big return of Lucha Underground for me.
Absolutely, dude. This was so fucking good. Like, I'm jazzed up. I feel like every episode of Lucha Underground that I watch is like a shot of adrenaline, and then when I get it, I'm like, yeah, I could take on the world! Just pumped up, ready to fight anybody and everybody. It's amazing. Best show on TV to me. I adore it. Do you have any other preliminary remarks you want to make before we really get into this?
I just adore this show. It's just so it's almost too good because it's actually started, not even started, just full blown for a while now. It's got me feeling more jaded towards the rest of the wrestling industry to the point that like maybe it really might have to do with the massive lack of overexposure because Lucha Underground is only an hour long and it's not a full every week of the year thing. It's only, like 3/4 or half of the year, depending on how long the season is. But I feel like Lucha Underground has spoiled me to the point that even like really quality shows like New Japan feel less impressive to me.
Oh, wow. That is bold. I mean, I don't know if I would personally go that far if I'm being honest, but I will say this. Like, I can see how a product as brilliant and as exemplary as Lucha Underground just makes you tire even more and get more burned out if it's possible with WWE's conglomerate, because you said something very interesting. Like, you're talking with Lucha right now, they are at a place where, yes, they've got the Netflix deal, which is amazing, and I'm so happy for them. And if anybody still doesn't know the Lucha craze, first 2 seasons are on Netflix. Please relocate from that rock you're living under and be a part of the best wrestling product going. But like with WWE, it's so much oversaturation because you've got 3 hours with Raw, 2 with SmackDown, 1 with NXT, and then there's all that stuff on the network. Like, it doesn't stop. And see, Ashton, here's the thing. Like, it's not even a matter of whether it's good or it's bad, because I feel like it could even be good, but after a point, it's like, I just want to breathe. And I feel like with Lucha Underground, you get amazing stuff like this, and they give you a week to breathe and to process and everything. And I know sometimes we're like, oh, we don't want it. But, man, like, they put their foot on the gas full force. I love this show. I'm ready to get into it. Are you ready to talk about it?
Let's do it, man. Absolutely.
All right, then. I mean, you guys know. I mean, for the uninitiated, we always forego Heats of the Night on these. For those of you that know, we just get straight into the Lucha Underground review. And we open up with a cinematic. We get a little recap, then a cinematic. Puma in the bathroom. He's having thoughts, I guess, about his past. He's going down a very dark road. Then, Ray kind of comes in, he chimes in, and much like El Dragon Azteca Jr., Ray is still trying to give, Puma some kind of counsel. I mean, they did face at the main event of Ultima Lucha Dos, former trios champions together, and he's saying, Puma, you all right? And he's like, I'm fine. And Ray's just saying, hey, man, I'm worried about you. What's going on? And he's trying to say, Vampiro isn't your friend. He doesn't have your best interest. He's not your mentor. And Puma, he's been getting irritated throughout. He said, oh, and what, like you are? Like really just getting defensive about Vampiro. And, when Ray says he's not your mentor, he doesn't care about you, and Puma just looks at him and he goes, neither are you. And he walks off and he leaves Ray alone, or so we think, because it goes from bad to worse, doesn't it, Ashton?
Yeah, it really does. This really, I mean, it escalates, my friend, because this whole thing with Vampiro showing up, and well, we think, I mean, was it full-blown Vampiro, or is Vampiro like a ghost now? Because we know he's not actually a vampire, because vampires don't have reflections, and we saw his reflection in the mirror. Or is this just Ray seeing things? Ray might just be losing his freaking mind because of Vampiro.
He might be. He might be, because it really seemed like he was cracking like an egg, because Vampiro was telling him, Ray, if you try and come between me and Puma, like his last mentor, I'll send you straight to hell. And then Ray pretty much punches the glass. And yeah, so that to me is like Ray cracking at the seams, because anybody else, maybe they turn around first, whatever. Ray, like, no, he sees it. He's like, oh, if I punch the mirror, I punch Vampiro. It makes perfect sense. And man, he gets all of it behind that fist. And yeah, the glass just shatters, much like Ray, and more importantly, Puma's psyche. But I thoroughly enjoyed this cinematic. I thought it set the perfect tone, especially with what we'd get at the end of the night. But what were your thoughts on it? What did you think about this?
I mean, yeah, this was really well shot, really well done. Really kind of makes you wonder what's going on in Ray's head. Makes you wonder what kind of powers Vampiro has or what he's capable of. And Puma, thoroughly on the dark side now, which I love.
Oh, I love it too. It's such a great character arc, because you have Puma, he comes in, the young prospect. Oh, I found him fighting in the barrios, that being Conan. Conan was his original leader. Then, of course, we know what happened to him. And Puma's just been trying to find his footing ever since. And it's just been a rough road for Puma. And I don't know if we necessarily call this place that he's in rock bottom, but he is in dire straits for sure. Because, I mean, you could see he's got a lot going on in his head, looking very troubled. And yeah, I mean, that carries over into our main event later, which we'll get to. But yeah, I love the cinematic. If you've got nothing else to say about it, we can move right on to our next thing here.
Oh, well, absolutely, man. The next thing that we had was the start of the first match of the night, the sudden death between Mac and Mundo, which Cueto comes out, hold on, and proclaims that there are no ties in Lucha Underground and that this match is sudden death. Because Johnny Mundo had the advantage last week and he got to pick that stipulation, Cueto is going to give Mac an advantage this week, and he makes it falls count anywhere.
Yeah, that is big. Falls count anywhere between Mundo and Mac. And you know what? Since I talk so much at length about the first thing, even though it is my boy Mundo, everybody already knows what I'm going to say. I'd like your take on this. What do you think about the sudden death here between Mac and Mundo?
A lot of fun, man. I love all of the weapons and shit that they brought out. I love that, the one little tiny segment plus, I mean, really not even one tiny segment. This entire show, all night, this whole show plus last week's All Night Long match were far more extreme than WWE's 3-hour Extreme Rules pay-per-view. It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah, dude, and here's my thing. It was so much more extreme to me that even though I enjoyed the Fatal 5-Way, I felt like even that on its own, like the strongest bullet in the chamber that Extreme Rules would have to offer, still pales in comparison to just weekly Lucha Underground, because last week was All Night Long, and then we get Sudden Death here, which was just wonderful. I loved what they did. Mac and Mundo, great false finishes here. There was one point I actually had a lapse in memory on live reactions because Mac gets the stunner and you could see his expression immediately change. He's like, oh shit, I hit it. This is my moment. But Mundo falls out of the ring. So then I'm thinking, oh, he's safe, but it's false count anywhere. I love that. I love that anything that Mundo say could have done last week in All Night Long and did do to run the clock out, to create space between him and Mac, immediately becomes meaningless. So when Cueto says, I'm going to tip the scales in your favor, Mac, it's not just because it's Mac's specialty, but I think by making everything legal in this kind of context, you just render all of Mundo's tactics practically meaningless. at least in terms of like spacing and milking shit and all that stuff. So I really like that. Mundo, though, of course, kicks out, and they have a bit more back and forth. Mac just piling all these chairs, so that's getting ready to be something. We get Ricky Mandel again getting involved, which is great. Like, I'll tell you, he really looks good in that bandana and sunglasses. Definitely like a much more inferior version, obviously, but to Johnny Mundo. So he's a great super fan. I'm still better, though, for the record. Mac takes
Everyone knows that, John. You don't need to keep saying it. You're just insecure about it.
Hey, look, okay? It's just like when Kevin Owens is on commentary and he says he does everything better than everybody else. Nothing wrong with giving assurances, right? But
it's insecurity.
Look, it's because everybody's inferior and they need to be told things multiple times. Either that or take out a
goddamn notepad. You have to keep saying that out loud because you're not just convincing everyone else, you're also trying to convince yourself.
Oh my God, shut your face hole, you uggo. Anyway, Ricky Mandel gets the stunner. He gets totally laid out. Then, Mac continues the assault on Mundo. He tries getting a table out, does Mac, but somebody stops him, that person being PJ Black. And, yeah, he's got like a kendo stick, I think, that he's working with. And then it seems like he's going to do like a white Russian leg sweep to the table to Mac. Mac counters. He stuns PJ, and he, goes to the table. And, yeah, I forgot Sexy Star. She was who took out Ricky Mandel. That was my mistake. I don't think Ricky ate a stunner, or if he did, Sexy Star still kind of neutralized the situation because she apparently doesn't know how to deliver a pizza, but she can do everything else. And then, we go back to Mundo and Mac. It's getting very tense. Mundo goes for end of the world at one point. Mac gets the knees up. It's crazy. Mac looks like he's about to close, because Mundo, he's on the apron. He seems like he's going to go through the pile of chairs. But then Taya comes in, pulls Mundo off, and then Mundo does like a sunset flip power bomb through the chairs, and that's it. That's how Mundo retains. Still your Lucha Underground champion. And really, because this was sudden death, we can say that Mundo won, this all-night-long affair with Mac. So he emerges victorious, still Lucha Underground champion. Any other thoughts you have about this?
Not really. If you want to kind of keep moving on, dude.
All right. Well, what came after this then?
After all night long? Well, not all night long. Sudden death. After all sudden death with Taya saving Johnny Mundo and helping him win, we had Dario Cueto with a big announcement that actually has repercussions for Ultima Lucha 3.
Oh, man, does it ever, dude. I'm going to let you take the reins on this one. What did you think about this announcement? This was an atomic bomb of an announcement as far as I'm concerned. This is huge.
Well, Dario brings up all of his brilliant concepts that he's come up with. And he refers to himself not only as the proprietor of Lucha Underground, but also a Lucha Libre genius.
That's right. Very true.
He brings up Dario's style of doom, the ultimate opportunity, and of course, most recently, the Battle of the Bulls, which have all been massive successes, whether objectively or just in my opinion, because everything Lucha Underground does is a success for the most part, in my opinion. But then he also says that he's got a new concept for Lucha Libre, the Cueto Cup, which will begin next week and feature 32 of the best luchadores in the world in a single elimination tournament where the winner not only receives the actual cup itself that Melissa Santos presented, but will also get a Lucha Underground Championship match at Ultima Lucha 3. But then we get another bomb dropped. The Lucha Underground champion at Ultima Lucha 3 might not necessarily be Johnny Mundo, because on the day of the Cueto Cup finals, not only will we find out who's going to be the challenger for the world title, but we're also going to have Johnny Mundo defend his title against Rey Mysterio Jr. to determine who will go to Ultima Lucha 3 as the champion.
I'm going to say right now, and this is me being completely serious, I've gotten all of my markiness out of the way. Well, at least so far. There's still one other thing we got to talk about that it's going to come out full force. I won't be able to help it. But I am so looking forward to this, like Rey versus Mundo. this may very well be my match of the year candidate on the Lucha Underground side. These guys work brilliantly together. It's either going to be that or whatever Mundo does at Ultima Lucha Tres, because he's been on fire lately, just generally speaking. And, you know, him and Ray, I think, bring out the best in each other when I've seen them interact. I cannot wait for this title match. It's really going to be something. But, partner, shifting gears, let's not focus so much on that because that's still a ways away. Let's talk about, I mean, the obvious thing here, the Cueto Cup. 32 luchadors, luchadoras, all vying for the chance at Ultima Lucha Tres. How amazing is it that there was a time, because we just got done, like, what was it, 2 weeks ago at this point, Lucha Underground Season 2 rewatch. And, you know, we saw Son of Havoc won the For a Unique Opportunity tournament. He could have been that guy. He could have been in that Ultima Lucha Tres spot, but of course he lost to Dr. Wagner, all that stuff. And now it's wide open like this. I mean, goddamn, to go from, oh man, so cool, Son of Havoc's going to have it wrapped up, to now 32 people can vie for it. I love that. This is, and you know what this makes? Because I will say, one of my criticisms, because I am old school that way, I didn't like that the world title wasn't the last match, especially when I did think that it had narrative teeth, because, you know, Pentagon and Matanza had their thing going. This makes the world title and being at Ultima Lucha feel like everything. It is insane. I feel like the value they're putting into this, and I love it because that communicates to me that, yeah, this fucking matters. Like, what do you think about it?
Yeah, man, this is massive because we've got, and the thing is, like, first of all, I love that we already have an idea of what the Ultima Lucha Tres main event is going to be. This is episode 21, and that show isn't for another 19 episodes. That's episode 40. So we're basically half point in the season, and we're already talking about Ultima Lucha Tres, which is just awesome. And it's cool, too, because we already have another match set, Ivelisse and Katrina, and we already were almost going to have another match with Son of Havoc getting into the main event last season, but obviously that didn't work out for him. But still, it's just really cool to me that they planned so far ahead with Ultima Lucha and that kind of stuff. And now we have, it's like they're building up these two people because Johnny Mundo is already the champion, and he's not just going to walk into Ultima Lucha Tres with the title and defend it. He's got a massive obstacle in his way, and it's the dude who won his big match at Ultima Lucha Dos versus Prince Puma, who is Johnny Mundo's longstanding rival. So that is Johnny Mundo's massive obstacle that he has to overcome just to make it to Ultima Lucha Tres. And then, on the other hand, it's 32 people, and it's not a battle royal. It's going to have 16 individual matches, and then 8, and then 4, and then 2, and then another 1. So that's going to be 32 people in a grand total of 31 matches. And by the end of it, the last guy is going to be like the most tested opponent for Johnny Mundo ever. And that's going to be the main event of Ultima Lucha Tres. I love it.
I love now that Lucha Underground, because here's the thing. Season 1, you know, you're establishing yourself. You're kind of in that embryonic stage, like, okay, let's throw everything at the wall. Let's show everybody how fucking awesome we are, which is something they're still doing through all the seasons, mind you. But, you know, Season 2, we're more familiar. Season 3, I'm really seeing the confidence of Lucha Underground come out. And because when you do something like this, that to me is saying, you know what? Fuck your WrestleMania. Fuck your Wrestle Kingdom. Ultima Lucha is the biggest wrestling show on the planet, and we're gonna show you how it's done. Like, I love.
And the thing is, like, the winner of the Cueto Cup, by the time they actually get to Johnny Mundo, they're going to have won 5 matches against some of the best luchadors in the world with increasing difficulty, because as they win their matches, each person they face will have also won their matches up to that point, to the point that that 5th match is going to be against somebody who's also won 4 matches so far. So this is increasing difficulty now, and if they finally get that 5th win and they win the actual Cueto Cup, then they have to overcome Johnny Mundo. That's huge.
See, I love, like, because the whoever wins is going to be such a credible challenger simply because of the process. You know, that's why I love the Royal Rumble. But see, I feel like why I like something like this better, right, is because sometimes in a Royal Rumble, you can have somebody win that got a really high number. So you'd figure, okay, well, it's not that much of a toil, but everybody's on equal footing here, right? Everybody's going to go through the same toil. There is no like, I'm doing better than this guy or whatever. So like whoever wins, you're going to know, yeah, that is the rightful number one contender. And like you were saying earlier, to your point, I love that the champion doesn't get a pass. Because first of all, even taking aside anything LU related, it's fucking Rey Mysterio. That alone just makes you go like, oh shit. And then you look at what he's done in Lucha Underground, pinning Matanza in Aztec Warfare 3, and then, you know, beating Prince Puma prior to that at Ultima Lucha Dos, like all these accomplishments, former trios champion, like he's got a rap sheet here. So I love that the main event scene of Lucha Underground for Ultima Lucha Trace, it's like it is guns fully fucking loaded, and they are basking in it, and I'm doing it right alongside them. This tournament is going to be amazing to cover for live reactions. I can't fucking wait. So.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be great. I love, too, that, like, I really tried to go and find, like, when the tapings were for this season, and then when the CWC kind of started to unfold a little bit. And the first instance I found of the CWC was on April 2nd, 2016. And the tapings for Lucha Underground started in March, but by the time they got to this episode, it was already later in April. So chances are this is just one of those weird examples where two companies thought of the same thing at the same time, unless Lucha Underground thought of it ahead of time and then word got to WWE and they wanted to cut them off at the pass, or the other way around. It could be either way, but it seems more like a WWE move than a Lucha Underground move.
And hey, look, I loved the CWC, but just knowing what's at stake, that ain't shit compared to this.
Yeah, exactly. Because the CWC, like, that was kickstarting a new division in the WWE, but the problem is that last part in the WWE. And the WWE doesn't know how to handle the actual division that they created. So now we just have an example of another missed opportunity on their part, because really the best part of the Cruiserweight division was the CWC. That tournament was the best thing that we've gotten out of the new existence of the new Cruiserweight division. And I'm fully expecting the Cueto Cup to be great, but the best thing that comes out of that is going to be the winner of it, because they're going to get to face Mundo at Ultima Lucha Tres for the title.
And I love, too, because we're, like, making all these parallels, like, between what WWE's doing, what Lucha Underground's doing. What I love about this tournament is, even if you have in mind, even if you're thinking of the most credible people that will probably win, I mean, you're probably right, but I love that it's got this appearance as being a wide open field. 32 people vying for this spot. In WWE, like, their example of that literally was the Fatal 5-Way. I don't think they could even go beyond that and have us take it seriously. With Lucha Underground, it's like, oh, here are 32 people. And is it even, like, just restricted to Lucha Underground, or is it going to be taken from, like, CMLL and AAA and, like, those places? Or is it just, like, Lucha Underground? Because 32 is
I
a
have
lot
no
of people.
clue. If I had to guess, I would say it's most likely just going to be within the roster, because I looked over the roster for the last Aztec Warfare, and I think there were 40-some people on it, so they could just draw from the roster and have everyone be in it and just kind of stack it that way. It'd be interesting for sure. I mean, if you think about it, the thing is, I really want a bracket so that I can know who all is in it, so that I can, like, fill out a bracket and try and predict who's going to win and stuff. But as it is right now, all I know is that he just said 32 of the best luchadors on the planet, which tell me, because it's Cueto and he's got that ego, 32 Lucha Underground competitors.
Oh, and bro, one more thing I definitely want to mention and kind of discuss with you. Even going beyond what we're getting at face value, right? 32 luchadors, you get this amazing trophy, you get a title shot. This is a great narrative device, because I can see storylines sprouting up from people that have been burned from this tournament and have lost, and maybe bitter at the people that beat them. I could see a lot of feuds coming out of this tournament, and that's another exciting prospect, too, that I didn't want to overlook, because I know we're looking at the most immediate stuff. Oh, number one contender, Ultima Lucha Tres, and obviously, I mean, that's huge. But you think about the byproduct of that. What are the losers going to do? Are any of the losers going to be jaded? Are some people even going to be able to compete? You don't know if they're going to get assaulted in like backstage cinematics. So I see so much narrative potential in this, even beyond the most immediate stuff that comes to mind. I think this is going to be incredible, dude.
Definitely, man. Definitely, yeah. All right, well, I mean, the Cueto Cup is a big deal, but that was only the midway point of this episode because we still had 2 whole matches left afterwards. And the first one was the Trios Championship. Phoenix, Aerostar, and Drago, Serpent Tribe, Cobra Moon, Lord Pindar, and Vibora.
Brother, as a declared loyal member of the Serpent Tribe, this is all you. Give us your thoughts, man, because this was amazing to me, but I want your full thoughts.
This was so good, too, because I'm pretty sure it was Aerostar and Pindar that opened the match, and they kind of did their thing, and Aerostar really did kind of get the one up on Pindar multiple times, but then Pindar tags in Vibora, and Vibora dominates, and then eventually Phoenix gets in, and Vibora kind of gets taken a little bit aback by Phoenix, but then Phoenix makes the mistake of trying to do flippy shit to Vibora, and he gets caught, and first you think, oh, he's going to get chokeslammed on the apron, but then no, Phoenix goes to do more shit, and he gets caught in not only a tombstone, but a tombstone piledriver on the outside of the ring to the floor. So that's fun. Have fun recovering from that, Phoenix. But then Vibora gets back in the ring, and as Aerostar attempts to tag Drago for recovery, Drago spits the poison mist in Aerostar's face. And then he gets up and over the ropes and goes over to the other side of the ring and joins Vibora and Pindar as the third member of that team with Cobra Moon going to the floor. So that's the real trio. And then we get their triple team finish where Vibora and Pindar hold Aerostar up in like an elevated position, a good like 3 feet up in the air or so. And Drago does a top rope splash onto him, sending him crashing down to the ground, and then picking up a 3 count. So the new Trios champions are the Serpent Tribe, but specifically it's Drago, Pindar, and Vibora, not Cobra Moon, Pindar, and Vibora. But then the cool thing, too, is even after the match is over and they're all holding up their titles, Cobra Moon recollars Drago.
Amazing imagery. Amazing imagery. I want to kind of work backwards here for my analysis, but before I do that,
absolutely, dude. I was hoping you would.
Yeah, but is there anything else you want to say? I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh,
I know you really enjoyed this.
Go for it, dude. You got it.
First of all, amazing imagery again. I love that dynamic of the man may be a champion, but he's still a slave first and foremost, to your point, because I know you made a similar comment in live reactions. I thought that was brilliant. Drago made history. He goes into a match as a trios champion, and he walks out of it a trios champion, but with 2 different sets of partners. That's really cool. Yep. I really
unheard of.
Yeah, because I can think of one other instance, and that would be in WWE where that happened in a tag team context, and that was with Cody Rhodes when he was tag champions with Hardcore Holly, and then he leaves it with Teddy DiBiase Jr.
And Davidowski.
But I feel like this was so much cooler because that was just trading one crotchety old fuck for a spoiled rich kid. This is a fucking tribe that you betrayed your best friends for. So immediately superior. Vibora is a fucking monster. Like, God damn, man. What a beast that man is. I mean, from the physique and then the mask he's wearing. Like, I had a soundbite in live reactions. I said, with a guy like Vibora, with how imposing he is, looking like that, it's Halloween 365 days a year, because there isn't a moment that piss isn't running down my pant leg at all. Like, I will never fuck with him. That is just fierce. And really, my last comment from the whole working backwards thing, Aerostar is so good. Like, I'll tell you.
He's really underrated, dude. I think people focus too much on attire because I feel like Drago gets a lot more praise than Aerostar, and Drago is like really cool looking, but he's really nothing special from an in-ring standpoint. Aerostar is special from an in-ring standpoint.
Dude, the crazy thing with Aerostar, because you've used that word, you used it in live reactions and you used it again here, underrated. I'm even guilty of underrating him because I feel like my appreciation for him has just slowly risen throughout the seasons. Like season 1, I even remember us saying like, "Oh yeah, he's that reliable hand that can have a great match." But then like you get deeper in this whole time traveler character, which I still think, even though we haven't seen it, right? Just my opinion for right now, unless they explicitly tell me differently, I still think that's going to have like huge implications for stories like in the Lucha Underground universe, the Luchaverse, because I think that power is just insane. And his matches, man, are always solid. He's so good in there. Like, I know Phoenix is like known for his balance, his agility, athleticism, but I feel like Aerostar's like a notch above that, and he has a character that interests me more than Phoenix. So, like, for
Yeah.
me, Aerostar does it more for me than Phoenix, and I'm just watching him work with Pindar with all of that grace, all of that brilliance, and he is another guy. It's like I said in my mark out of a lifetime vid, all 32 minutes of it. I did say
I'm telling you, man, to me, Phoenix is like the Kushida of Lucha Underground. Like, everyone loves him, and he always gets praised, and he's clearly at least reasonably good in the ring. He's an athletic dude, but I just don't get it. And it annoys me when he counters literally everything that people go for.
I'm still waiting because, see, the difference between him and Kushida for me is I think the ship has sailed with me and Kushida. I don't know if there will ever be a point that I like him, but never say never. I mean, look at Naito's transformation, look at Miz. You never know when the next guy's going to come through. But, with Phoenix, I'm still waiting for him to have that moment that I'm like, that's why you're here. And I can see why people appreciate you, and I dig it. With Aerostar, I feel like that moment came somewhere in the second season, probably, if I had to guess. And ever since, I've just been like, I want you to do a big time program involving your time traveling powers because, we felt like he might in a way, but I feel like they haven't touched on it in a while with him visiting the tribes. But yeah, dude, just watching him work with Pindar, I'm like, you are so fucking good. Like, amazing. And yeah, what I was getting ready to say earlier, now that Mundo's like having his run, Aerostar is one of those guys that I've been talking about. Like, now that I can scratch that itch, I can look to the future. And yeah, Aerostar is one of those guys. I'd love to see him really in that top tier kind of talent because, man, I was just like, you really are one of the best people on that team because Phoenix ain't doing shit because he's dead. So, and yeah, just this match was so much fun. We got a title change. Serpent Tribe is fucking taking over. You're loving it, which just puts the biggest smile on my face knowing that you're really into something. Yeah, it's just so fucking cool all around, dude. I love this. A lot of fun.
Definitely. Oh, man. This is just so good. We can probably move on, though. So up next, we get... You know what? I'm not even gonna. You know what? You let me talk about the sudden death match because of you talking so much about the Puma Vampiro Ray thing. So I'm just gonna say what happened here and then back off and let you talk about it. Backstage, Johnny Mundo talking to Ricky Mandel, asking him where the champagne is that he requested. Jack Evans is apparently hurt. Taya lets Johnny know this is bad news. And then Johnny's like, okay, well, Ricky, go ahead. And then, yeah, Taya tells Johnny that he's got to defend the title against Ray via Cueto. Johnny, tells Ricky, go warm up the car. I've got to go to my dojo. And then tells Taya that he's going to have to train harder than he ever has in his entire life to get ready for Ray. And then Taya's like, aren't you going to put pants on? And what did Johnny say?
There's no time for pants.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to give my serious thoughts here because I honestly did get all my squeeing out in live reactions for that particular segment. What I love about this, first of all, Johnny's still killing it. Like, this really is, I don't know how long, and when I say run, I mean just him being on the top of his game. I don't know how long that's going to last. If we get another year out of it, another couple years. Like, I'm just enjoying it because he is owning everything that isn't WWE, and I mean that in the best possible way because he is living proof that there is so much more out there than the conglomerate, and he's killing it. I think it was Jarveris sent me a message recently. He became PCW World Champion, and his work as Lucha Underground Champion hasn't wavered. Like, I love this. And on a more objective note, looking at the match, I love that Mundo with Taya, because it shows the closest of that relationship, because I love those two together so much, is just so honest with her. Like, hey, this is no joke. Like, that they are trying to put this match over big when even Mundo can't have his typical like brashness and arrogance. Like, they let you see that he is concerned. He's not trying to put him on a front, at least for all of us. I mean, obviously he did with Ricky Mandel. That just shows you, yeah, Ray's a big deal. So even though Ray doesn't need it, I like that Lucha Underground just going that extra mile to say, yeah, this is a title match you're going to want to see because Johnny Mundo has never been pushed this hard. Yep. I love that he's going to be training at his dojo, which puts in context those clips we saw in the trailer, even though, like you correctly pointed out, in live reactions, we know that Johnny Mundo is still going to bring all of his shenanigans that he normally does, you know, Taya and Jack and eye rakes and low blows and all that stuff, but he is committed to the process. Like, I just love everything about this because it makes the match feel so huge because it's the match. Either Mundo wins and he walks into Ultima Lucha Trace as the champion, or he loses and either he's got to find something else on the card or be left off the card entirely. So, yeah, I mean, high stakes here, and the same goes for Ray. I love this cinematic, so much fun, and I'll tell you, this whole Lucha Underground run, period, from season 1 to now, has just been the most vindicating period for me as a longtime Mundo fan I've ever experienced. It's just so good to see him with this kind of success, and he's just still killing it. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, dude, for sure. All right, man. Well, I got to tell you, this was a really fun segment. And I also want to mention that the Johnny Mundo "There's No Time for Pants" line has already picked up quite a bit of traction on the Squared Circle subreddit. People love that.
Dude, I love it too. Oh my God. Because really, it is that kind of humor that you and I saw, at least in my opinion, akin to the movie released recently, Boone the Bounty Hunter, which was amazing. Yeah, I love it. I love that he just really seems to be having a fun time with this, having the time of his life. And I'm having fun right along with him. There's no time for pants. There never is time for pants. Yeah, see, all the great people, there was always something trivial. I once heard that Einstein thought that socks were a waste of time, and now Johnny Mundo, whose brilliance totally eclipses Einstein for the record, says that there's no time for pants. So see, we're upgrading articles of clothing. Pretty soon people are going to be like, there's no time for clothes altogether. And that man will be the God among us. So yeah, with that said, what came after this?
After this was our main event of the evening, Mil Muertes versus Prince Puma.
Now, brother, I did get corrected in live reactions. Mil Muertes is your new number 1. Puma slid down to number 2. I was still operating on the old, like, Puma being your favorite.
Dude,
but
it's been like that for a while now, honestly.
Yeah, but either way, it's 2 of your favorite guys. It's the main event.
It's my 2 favorite guys.
Yeah. And floor's yours, man. What'd you think about this?
This was so good. Like, Prince Puma, the thing is, like, I almost want to dislike him because I know he's leaving after season 3, so I want to, like, reject him and be like, no, you're not that good anyway. You're overrated because you're not going to be in Lucha Underground anymore. But goddamn, is he good? Like, I even like Best of Super Juniors watching Ricochet work his shit against like Ospreay and Dragon Lee and all that stuff he is amazing. He honestly, I think that the reason that I kind of pushed him down to number 2 and I'm kind of starting to kind of root against him and stuff isn't just because he's a heel or anything like that. It's because I want to brace myself for when the WWE has no freaking clue what to do with him and he ends up as another Neville.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Because here's the thing, and then I'm going to give the floor back to you because I do want you to give your full range thoughts on this. But, like, I agree with your opening statements. Like, people like Ricochet are the fucking worst because I don't want to like you for leaving a place that I feel like has done so well by you. And granted, you've done well by them, you know, with the amazing matches. But you're so fucking good. It's no wonder
and let's be
everybody's
real, would WWE really be interested in him if it wasn't for Lucha Underground? Because he was working PWG in New Japan before he went to LU.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if they would have, dude. I would say no. Because I feel like it was the stuff in LU, because you know WWE cares more about like character and personality and stuff. LU, I think, really allowed Ricochet's personality to come out because what little we've seen of it in New Japan and PWG, it's like he seems so much more comfortable behind that mask. And I think they really got to see like.
But then at the same time, he tweets shit like #free Ricochet. Like, dude, you signed a 3-season contract. They extended it by like 5 more months than what you were expecting, maybe 6 at most. And you're still allowed to work New Japan. You're still allowed to work Ring of Honor. You're still allowed to work, and even like I don't think he is allowed to work Ring of Honor, but he's still allowed to work New Japan, still allowed to work Mexico, still allowed to work PWG shows. Like, he still has way more freedom than he would have in literally any other major televised wrestling promotion in North America, in the US at least. And he's online complaining about how he wants out of his contract and shit. And like, that's just one of those things where I really like that. That is a huge shame to me, because I don't want him to leave Lucha Underground on bad terms, because when WWE decides, we bought you and we like you, but you don't really do anything that sells merch, and we don't really think that you're worth our money, so we're going to go ahead and let you go now. And then he ends up out of the WWE in, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years from now. I want him to be able to come back to Lucha Underground on good terms.
I mean, I would love that too, but see, everything you just mentioned, and you articulated it, perfectly to me. That's exactly why I say people like him are the worst, because for those reasons, I should have soured on you. I should have been like, oh man, you're just, you're high maintenance, kind of like this prima donna kind of thing, complaining about your contract when it's great. But then,
son of a bitch, is he an amazing talent?
And that's just it, dude. That's just it, because I've made concessions for performers in the past. If I can't give Ricochet concessions when he's still going out and having brilliant fucking matches like this, then he's not the asshole I am, and that's even worse.
Exactly.
That's even worse, because
and that's why he's still number 2 on my Lucha Underground Fave 5, and he didn't drop off of it completely.
Right, because like, oh man, if I do this, who's really the asshole here? And I fucking hate that he gives me that conflict, but god damn, are you so good at what you do?
He is so good. It's not even fair.
People like that, right? People like that completely obliterate the notions that were taught in elementary school. Oh, mean-spirited people or bullies or this or that. Like, anybody that's negative in one way or another, they never go on to be successful. Bull fucking shit. Because
they're the ones that become the most successful.
Exactly. Like, bull.
Hell, look at our president-elect right now.
Exactly. Like, goddamn, man. How can you expect me, this same guy that's like, oh, hashtag free Ricochet, guys, get it trending, even though I've had like fucking barn burners in this place, and he still does. And like, I know you told the story about him, and because his girlfriend's Tessa Blanchard, right? Because I always get him and Raquel mixed up. And you said like, oh, how they were so full of themselves because they got a property in Florida right away, thinking that like NXT would just scoop them up. And I want to laugh at them, but I can't though. At least I can't laugh at him.
Yeah, well, like, Tessa really good. Like. She's all right, but she's nowhere near as talented as Ricochet.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like,
because like to me, like from just a pure talent standpoint, Ricochet, like his athleticism and his in-ring isn't even a 10 out of 10. It's an 11 out of 10. Like his promo work is like a 3 out of 10. So I guess if you even it out, it ends up being what, like a 7.5, 8.5 out of 10 or so. But still, like his in-ring and athleticism are tippity top of the iceberg in the world of wrestling right now. Whereas with Tessa, like she's like a 6 in the ring. I guess she's a little bit better on the mic, but she's still not amazing at all. So I don't know.
Dude, for me, I think what pains me, because I know why it pains you. You have been a Prince Puma fan for so long, and you even admitted, like, well, part of the
dude, it's like
down.
It's like a less extreme. It's like a less extreme, less serious version of the people who voted for Trump and then realized that it was a mistake.
Right.
And, he stands for all this stuff that I like, and he's not Hillary Clinton, who I don't like, but then he's in office and he's ruining the country, and they're realizing, oh shit, I've made a horrible mistake. Well, Ricochet is this incredible talent who puts on amazing matches pretty consistently and has this ridiculous natural charisma, even if he can't talk very well. But then it turns out, oh wait, he's actually kind of a dick with really like a massive ego.
Yeah, and where it's heartbreaking for me, because like I'm just gonna frame it this way: up until Prince Puma happened, if you would have asked me, oh hey John, who is John, like Johnny Mundo, John Morrison, whatever, who's his best opponent to you? I would have said CM Punk, because I love their matches together, adore their matches together. Prince Puma blew those out of the water with me.
Oh yeah.
Not only
Day one.
Day
Lucha
one.
Underground Season 1, Episode 1, main event, Puma Mundo, and your illusions of Punk being Mundo's best opponent is just gets shattered.
And not only that, I'll take it 2 steps farther, because 1, they became, and I've said this multiple times, my new fight forever. And 2,
Right.
I love those 2 together so much. They're like my part 2 of like the Angle Benoit rivalry. I love those 2 fucking people together, so it breaks my heart that we'll probably never see them mix it up again after such and such a point. Like, that devastates me, because I love those 2 together. I mean, obviously, as a performer, I'm always going to wish Ricochet the best. I know you're mature enough. You're the same way. I'm sure we're all the same way, despite any misgivings we have. God damn, I want to hate you more than I do, and it's so hard because, and hey, that's not to knock Mil Muertes, who we haven't even talked about yet. Mil Muertes is amazing. I adore Mil Muertes. Again, I know you do too. The guy is wonderful at what he does. But man, when you have an opponent that can bring the best out of you, it is that much better. So with that said, let's get into some of the specifics of this match. What were some of your favorite parts of this match tonight?
I mean, personally, some of my favorite parts were just Mil trying to throw Puma up against stuff, and Puma using his ridiculous athleticism to jump off of it and attack Mil. Like,
yeah.
Mil's like, oh, I'm going to throw you into the barricade, and Puma's just like, nope, flash kick. Mil's like, oh, I'm going to throw you up into the stands, and Puma's just like, nope, crawling up the stands and jumping off of it and landing on you. Like, that happened like 2 or 3 times in this match, and every time was amazing.
Yeah, I love it. That's actually, when you bring that up, that's kind of a great story to tell, because Mil Muertes is always a guy, like, he's relied on his power to corner somebody and then beat the shit out of them, but Puma is just so evasive, not to mention, like, the built-in rivalry that these guys have already got, and yeah, you've got some great narrative elements going on here. When they went up the stairs and it seemed like Puma was gonna, or Muertes was gonna chuck Puma off, I got legitimately scared for Puma. I'm like, oh shit, that's quite a fall. See, again, like, these guys, when you're so fucking good at your craft, it sucks you in. You know, like, and that's the thing. It's just amazing to watch. And then they get in the ring, and, you know, Puma and Mil Muertes are still going at it. Puma, like, fighting out of the flatliner, just elbowing Mil over and over like his life depended on it, because it did, you know, because then Mil would have finished him off. And just the back and forth between these guys was incredible. And then it gets to a point where I forget what, because Puma got one move, and I'm trying to remember what that was before the 630, because I think that was the time
the
that you were
coast to coast, the flipping coast to coast.
Yeah, you're right. The flipping coast. That was fucking. And see, that again is like, God, you are kind of a dick, and you really feel like your wrestling's best. But then when I'm talking like this, aren't I just validating your opinions of yourself for you?
Yep.
God fucking damn it! Like, it's maddening. It's maddening, but it's a madness that I'll deal with, because we get matches like this. That coast to coast at a fucking flip. Now, see, that's just showing off. Like, oh, I could just do a coast to coast, but I forgot I'm not this old ass millionaire with a hip replacement, so I'm gonna add a flip. Like, oh my God. He gets that. Then he gets the 630. And then, like, Puma's fired up. He's like, yeah, I got this shit. I'm the best. And he turns around. Katrina's just like, nope. Clocks him in the face with a rock, because she's just done with this shit. She's like, you know what? I keep raising this motherfucking thing. I'm going to use it a different way, making it collide with your face. So he's starting to crawl for her. And then Vampiro's like, hey, bud. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to leave you, all right? But I am going to give you this brick. It's just a brick. Use the force. I know you'll know when it's time. So Puma's got this fucking brick. And then he's standing up like, I can do it. And Mil charging at him for the spear. Brick power! Bam! Right in the skull. Right in the fucking skull. And then he just falls on top of Mil. Katrina's wondering, like, God, I told him to get the fuck out of my temple, and this is the shit I have to deal with. Puma gets the 3 count. And see, Dude, bringing it down just a tad, because I know I'm getting excited, and we had a very spirited discussion about Ricochet and his future, which I'm happy it was spirited because the subject matter itself is so fucking depressing. I love this because at the beginning of the show, remember, we had Ray trying to convince Puma, hey, he's not your mentor, he doesn't care about you, all this stuff. And yet, who helps Puma take the win back? Vampiro. And it wasn't just any win. It was a win against a guy who, like, the weight was just bearing down upon his back, and he needed to relieve himself of it. And Vampiro helped him do that. So if he was kind of like, maybe they're right, whatever, like if he wasn't fully committed before, he is after this. Because this was a huge win for Puma kayfabe-wise because of their rivalry and because of Vampiro's involvement. So I love that it comes full circle of Ray, you know, this kind of force of light, being like, nah, listen to me. He doesn't care about you. To Puma really getting that assurance, because Vampiro could have stayed at commentary. He could have let the events play out. I mean, he's done that before, I feel like, with Pentagon many times. And instead, he gets involved, and really by handing him that brick, he also kind of hands Puma, in a way, like that assurance of, hey, you know what? I'm your mentor now. I'm not Conan. I'm better than Conan, and this is me showing it to you. Because Conan wasn't around for Puma to beat Mil Muertes at Ultima Lucha because he was dead. Like, he got himself killed. Vampiro, though, he stepped up. He got Puma that win. So I love
the way you said that. He was dead.
Yeah, he was dead. Motherfucker got put in a casket. But no, like, I love, dude. And see, that's the thing. When you and I do LU reviews, we like to make them distinct because we have more in-depth conversations like this. And I want to turn over every nook and cranny with you. And I could not let this match go by without saying, like, I love the storytelling at the end, bringing the cinematic full circle with this. And really, Puma, another step forward when you think about his mentoring relationships, you know, Conan and now Vampiro, and you're already seeing the differences. It's amazing. I mean, do you have anything to say in that regard? Because I feel like I've been talking my ass off. But if you
do
have
I have anything to say? What a silly question. Of course I have stuff to say, but at the same time, I feel like you've said a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I apologize. I didn't mean to totally carry it away, but if you have anything to add, please, I'd love to hear it.
Dude, I'm telling you, though, like, this match was a lot of fun. Let me ask you, actually, because I'm curious what your opinion is. What did you think was a more entertaining match beginning to end? The sudden death between Mac and Mundo or Puma Muertes here?
I love Mundo to death, but definitely this. Definitely this. Like, if I'm being
objective,
I
kind of felt the same way, actually.
Yeah,
this dude, I gotta tell you, like, yes, Prince Puma, Ricochet, amazing talent, kind of shitty attitude. Mil Muertes is another amazing talent in a completely different way, and part of what makes him so great is that he has an amazing attitude. This dude is willing to do anything. He will put anyone over. He will lick anyone's blood.
Yeah.
He is like the most open wrestler I've ever heard of. And like the legend just continues to grow with this match. Because like, yeah, he dominated Puma, but Puma got a lot of licks in. And then who was on top at the end? Prince Puma. Mil Muertes is the consummate professional.
And you know what? What a contrast, right? Because we've spent all this time talking about how Ricochet's governing his career. But you know what? Ricochet's still fairly young. I mean, Mil Muertes is in his 40s. But you know what, though? Let's talk about Mil since you broached it. And I'm so glad you did. This guy, you know what I was thinking about when we were watching this match? And I didn't say it in live reactions because I didn't want to disjoint the flow that you and I had going on, you know, discussing the match. It amazes me, right, that this guy used to be Judas Macias in TNA, and they didn't do fuck all with him. And you give him this mask, you give him this amazing origin story as Pascual Mendoza and the Earthquake and Katrina, and you've really got, in my mind, one of the best performers in professional wrestling right now. Like, the packaging is on point. He's willing to do a job for anybody. Who did Sexy Star pin to become the first female Lucha Underground champion? Mil Muertes. Like, you said it
female, they had a Lucha Underground championship match. Ivelisse versus Mil Muertes.
That's right. That's right. And, man, did he make her look good with that false finish roll-up, though. Like, goddamn.
Yep.
Like,
I'm telling you, man, he's a freaking awesome, just just a great person, really. Like, I can't even just say great performer because that's obvious, but we're going past that. This is just a good guy.
Dude, I'm so glad you said that because that's why I thought about the Judas Genius thing, because like they did fuck all with him, and I'm so glad a guy that really gets what wrestling is about and is so good about it is getting the spotlight like this. Because if nothing else, now I don't keep track of AAA, so maybe people will chime in and be like, "Nah, John, his AAA work is like more extensive. That's what he'll be known for." I hope whenever
I mean, yeah,
retires,
he's been Ricky Banderas in AAA, and he's been there for really like the last decade or so. I think he
right.
went to AAA around like 06-ish.
So his career may really be predicated on a AAA, but I hope what people remember with the most fondness is his Lucha Underground work, because that's me. Yeah. That is me. Like, I really haven't watched much of Ricky Banderas. I will always know him as Mil Muertes, and I mean that as the highest compliment, because this shit is, he's amazing. He is amazing. And the way he sells.
It's go.
It is. It really fun. And the way he sells, like, the moment his face met brick, bam, falls right to the mat. Like, Mil Muertes, he's amazing. And another guy, because I made like this dream list when Johnny Mundo became world champion of everybody I wanted him to work with. That's why I was heartbroken when Angelico got injured, because I was so looking forward to that. But Mil was another one. Like, I'd love, even if he doesn't have the title, which, would go against what I said in live reactions of him being champion forever. But, I do want to see Mundo and Mil Muertes cross paths because I just love Mil's work. He gets it, man, on every level. And Katrina continues to be wonderful. And I can't wait to see her more involved, given that she has a match at Ultima Lucha Tres with Ivelisse. Like, there are still so many pieces here. But yeah, this main event was great. We didn't get a closing cinematic, so that's it. Puma stands tall. Dude, do you have anything else you want to say about this?
I don't think so, man. I think this was just a lot of fun. This Luke, like, we've gone for almost an hour, and that's how you know Lucha Underground is freaking back.
It is fucking back, baby. And doesn't it feel so freaking good? Let's get right into our next segment, high spots and low shots. I'm going to tell you right now, my low shot is the Lucha Super Friends. You guys got annihilated.
Well, really, specifically just Aerostar and Phoenix, because Drago's in great shape.
Yeah, you're right. So my low shot is Aerostar and Phoenix. And it would go 1A Phoenix, 1B Aerostar. Because, yeah, Aerostar ate the pin, but Phoenix's skull ate floor. So, yeah.
Yeah, it did.
That laugh was amazing. So yeah, I really don't have to say anything. The proof is in the pudding, and the Serpents, they're eating a lot of it, along with Trios Championship Gold. I freaking adore it. And
let's eat pudding.
Well, in my world they do, but also in my world, apparently Johnny Mundo's abs are mythical. So what do I really know at the end of the day? Regardless.
Write like a full-blown fan fiction about Johnny Mundo's abs.
I did do that, and Taya and PJ and Johnny all loved it. I don't know if Jack Evans saw it, but he pouts a lot, so who cares?
Apparently Jack Evans is also hurt, so maybe he is just, sidetracked.
Now, I gotta ask this since you brought it up, because I did want to continue with the low shot, but I have to ask this. Is he really hurt? Because if he is, obviously, I want him to get well, or is this still like that Crash promotion BS? Like, what is
I have no clue, dude. I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask for insider shit.
Yeah, if he's really hurt, obviously, like I even say, even to my worst enemies of Mundo, like Angelico and such, get well soon. We can't wait to see you again. But if it's that storyline stuff, shit ain't right, bruh. Shit ain't right. But yeah, Aerostar and Phoenix, you're my low shot. What a shitty night for you guys. What about you, Ashton? Who are your low shots?
I'm a little bit more traditional because, I only have one low shot, and said low shot's name is the Mac.
Yeah. He failed.
He failed. Well, and he failed in the worst way possible because if this was a mountain, Mundo and his world title are at the top, the Mac climbed the mountain and literally stood at the top of it alongside Johnny Mundo, only to get knocked down. Like, he was at the pinnacle. He tied Johnny Mundo last week, And then with this week rolled around, and it's in his wheelhouse supposedly, and now he is now 1-3 in his match specialty.
Yeah, well, I mean, given his poor conditioning, it doesn't surprise me that he lost his footing atop the mountain alongside Johnny Mundo. And
his conditioning is as good as Mundo's, obviously. Otherwise, you wouldn't have tied him last week and all night long.
Maybe as good, Ashton, but as we saw tonight, clearly not good enough. And that leads me to my high spot. Johnny, haters can chortle my balls, Mundo. Yes. Yes. Still, your Lucha Underground champion. And Ray, I want to let you know in that calm Samoa Joe-like tone, something very bad is going to happen to you. Because understand, when you step in that ring with Mundo for the Lucha Underground Championship, winning that title is going to be the least of your concerns, because when you lose that match, you're going to lose so much more. You're going to need to hurry back to that doctor for another round of stem cell therapy for those wretched-ass knees of yours. So, yes, Johnny Mundo.
Because there's no time for pants.
There is no time for pants, and Ray, I ain't got time for your shit, because my mind is only on one thing: Johnny Mundo, Lucha Underground champion, Ultima Lucha Trace. How about you dial that up, you piece of shit? Johnny Mundo, my high spot. Yes. And now, Ashton, you can have your clearly inferior high spot. Who is it?
Dude. Not only, you didn't even need to bury my high spot. I was getting ready to be like, how am I going to top that? And then you say that on top of it. Jesus Christ.
Blowtorch.
Can I just say my high spot is the fans? No, that's a cop-out. I won't. No, but my high spot is, I mean, it has to be the Serpent Tribe, right? They won the trios titles tonight. Like, Johnny Mundo, he retained a championship, which is nice. And then, you know, Prince Puma beat a long-standing rival, which is really cool. But the Serpent Tribe are the only people that actually won championships that they didn't have before tonight. So, yeah, the Serpent Tribe, all 4 members, because Drago is now a member, the Serpent Tribe is my high spot. They did great tonight.
Yeah, dude, all jokes aside, I love, let me really emphasize that you are so into the Serpent Tribe. And hey, I wouldn't say I'm as into them as you, but I'm into it. Like, I fucking love Cobra Moon. Vibora is just a presence. Like, I cannot wait to see what he does in future seasons. And yes, I use plural because much like Johnny Mundo's title reign, Lucha Underground will last forever. So yeah, they're amazing. You're amazing. Everybody's amazing. I fucking love the Serpent Tribe. So really happy they're your high spot. With that said, do you have any concluding remarks you want to make?
No, man. I think we can close this on out. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've really thoroughly enjoyed having another in-depth discussion about Lucha Underground with you. And it's mostly just because I feel like last week we didn't really have that much to talk about because there were no real angles going on. It was just the one match. But now this week, angles galore. More angles than an octagon, baby.
Oh, dude, I loved our discussions, particularly about the Cueto Cup and just the whole Puma angle going on right now. I thoroughly enjoyed this. See, now we're back in it. If all night long last week was getting punched in the mouth, this was us kind of registering it like, okay, now we're in it. Now we're in it. And I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed this. I mean, this is the place to be for Lucha Underground coverage, and you can really expect us to give the best possible coverage of the Cueto Cup. But then again, I'm sure you guys already knew that, and the Cueto Cup does start next week. Cannot wait for those in-depth discussions, partner, about who gets eliminated, who advances, what that all means in the grand scheme of things. But that'll be next week. Unfortunately, we have a lot of waiting to do. But until then, guys, this has been Lucha Underground. This has been TWitWoW. The best.
Woo!
Woo, Daddy! Wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-ordinating commentary and loyal member of the Serpent Tribe, Ashton. Guys, be sure to check out all of our media in the description box. If you're new to Lucha Underground, we got you. because there is an all Lucha Underground content ever playlist in the description. That would include Lucha Rewatch. Educate yourself, son, and be able to join us for all of that sweet, sweet Lucha Underground goodness. Also, for all of you that are already in the thick of Lucha Underground, first of all, great job not living under that rock. Second of all, there's still plenty for you to check out. One, we have got a Teespring. There are TWitWoW shirts. There are TWitWoW mugs. And if you're like, oh, TWitWoW is great, but I'm also a part of the Scum Squad, again, we got you. Because we got Scum Squad shirts, we got Scum Squad stickers. I'm making moves so that Chris Wolf can model our merch because she is just a bundle of adorableness personified.
Dude, if you can make that happen, I will literally send you a paycheck.
Yes, I can finally get paid.
If you get Chris Wolf to model one or more of our T-shirts, you have earned that that PR firm check.
You guys may not know this, but even though I go hard emotionally at a lot of people, including Ashton, I'm very insecure, and when he trusts me with the responsibility, I take that very seriously. Like when you put us in charge of me pushing that new shirt, and I feel like I was one sale shy of it really being a success, and it still burns me at night. So challenge accepted. Chris Wolf, I know you're hearing this, at least in my head canon. You will wear a Scum Squad shirt because we have it for women too. So Bullet Clubber's the shield with all of her sass. Ella, when she's fantasizing about licking Baron Corbin's receding hairline, you can do it looking the best you've ever looked in a Scum Squad tee.
Oh, and don't forget Stella and Jackie. We have more than that as far as women go.
That is
and
true.
And Cobra Moon, she probably is going to hear this.
Yeah, that's, hey, Cobra Moon, hey. When you're leading a tribe, how do you want to look? You tell me right now how you want to look, because, look, between you and me, look, Evil Lise ain't shit, right? We all know you're running everything, right? So you clearly want to look.
But what if Taya is also listening in, John?
Okay, no, look, Taya, look, we'll do stereo where it goes in one ear, and then when I'm talking this way, it'll go in the other ear. Look, Taya, look, I'm just trying to sell it, okay? You know we got this, right? You look, you're the Ice Queen. You know I'm straight fire, right? We got this. But yeah, Cobraman, look, you know you want to look good, right? You know you want to style and profile, but not like crotchety old men that should be in retirement homes. No, you are a fucking queen. So slay like one and get a female Scum Squad tee. I know you're hearing us because you love us, and we love you back. I mean, I will feed you and your snakes all the mice, man. I will gather them all up. I will feed Vibora for you if you model that goddamn tee.
Dude, imagine how many mice that thing eats a day.
I know, right? Fuck those mice. Look, man, I'm feeling
that thing doesn't even eat mice anymore. It's upgraded. Its meal consists of capybaras.
Look, look, Cobra Moon, I once read a story about a woman that had a pet snake, and she was like, oh, it's sleeping next to me. No, it was sizing her up, wanted to eat her whole, right? Just like you guys are going to eat everyone in Lucha Underground whole because you're dominant. Now, look, I know what you're probably thinking, but isn't Johnny Mundo going to come in? Look, it's not about him right now, right? I'm trying to sell you on our future together. The podcast collaborating with the Serpent Tribe for total global dominance, but we can only do that with the T-shirt. That's the key.
Just to kind of make sure the point got across, you guys know what capybaras are, right?
I personally didn't, but I didn't want to slow my momentum here. I'm really in the midst of a pitch here.
Well, I mean, we were talking about snakes eat rodents, and capybara is the largest rodent in the world. So there you go.
See, do you see what you got here? The smartest motherfucker on the planet.
Well, it's educational too.
Exactly. Like this is human Google right here. You can side with this, right? And then, of course, my melodious voice just makes fucking miracles happen. We're a tour de force. We're with you. Right? We're with you. Just know that you're with us and show us that you're with us with a Scum Squad t-shirt. So, yes, that's the Teespring, guys. Another thing is our Patreon. Everybody knows how YouTube has just bent us all over, exposed our anus, and then I'll leave your imagination to do the rest. So Patreon helps us immensely, and you guys have been so wonderful with those super chats. I mean, James probably really feels like my pimp with how often he makes it rain $2. And Jarveras is the TWitWoW pimp as far as I'm concerned with how generous he has been in the past. And guys, you know, with our Patreon, whenever you can donate, it is greatly appreciated. And you definitely get that bang for your buck because we, you know, kind of endow you with the power of content control. You can make pay-per-view requests, you know, for reviews or live reactions, or not even pay-per-views. I know we got one coming up for Cliff next Tuesday where it's just 3 singles matches. So, you know, there's a lot of variety that we're offering. So guys, please check out the Patreon, check out our price points. If you feel like it's worthwhile, we greatly appreciate any donations. Hell, if you're sitting on a donation, thank you anyway, because it shows that we're in your thoughts and you're thinking about us. And if you're just not in a position to do so, obviously, you know, it's not a gunpoint kind of thing. I get it. You know, it's a tough time for everybody right now. But if you have the money and you think about sending some our way, it means the world to us because you guys are the lifeblood of what we do. So it does not go unnoticed. You guys are amazing. Let me see what else I have to plug. We do not have an NXT review this week, and I don't think we will next week, but the week after we should be returning. So you guys will know when we return with that. And I don't think we have any other content this week, do we, Ashton? Because it's not a pay-per-view week, and we're not doing any Patreon requests this week. So this is it for the week, guys. Looking ahead, though, even though we don't have anything for this week, I want to look way into the future. Thursday, June 29th. I want to establish this again, and I want to say this for every recording until it just becomes, you know, commonplace. The last Thursday of every month is the new date for Q&As. So, you know, it's now going to be the last Thursday of every month. I know Bullet Club versus The Shield is very excited about that because I think we're doing Q&A on her birthday, so she's hype as hell. You guys participate in Q&A if you haven't already. I know I've already gotten quite a few questions. I know, Brandon, I actually should talk to you when this goes off the air. I have to ask you about some of your questions, but yeah, guys, everybody gets 4 questions per Q&A. You can wait until this video is done processing, submit your questions there. You can tweet at us your questions. Both of our Twitters are in the description. And hell, I mean, my partner's amazing freaking backgrounds here. That has our Twitters as well. So it's everywhere you look. You know, go to our Facebook. And I know we've gotten new likes on the page recently, so thank you guys that have given us new likes on the page. Leave a like on the page if you do visit it. You can message us your questions there. I know Alex Foster likes to employ that method. There are a multitude of methods you can employ to get your Q&A questions in. Maximum is 4 questions per Q&A. You can divvy them up any way you like. Most common method is usually a lot of people do all 4 of their questions for both of us because, hey, why not get the price of 2 perspectives for 1 question? Am I right? Of course I am. I'm a Johnny Mundo fan. I'm always right. So be sure to get those questions in, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can tell, like, I'm energized as hell. I'm hyped, but not the Mojo Rawley kind because that's just ew. And yeah, that's our last recording for the week. We will see you guys next week, and I think that will be... I'm guessing, yeah, next Tuesday with Cliff's Patreon request. I don't think we have anything Monday. So next Tuesday, it'll be Cliff Amal's...
we do have Dominion live reactions Monday afternoon.
You know, okay. I thought there was something Monday. That's why I hesitated. Yeah, Dominion live reactions, guys, that's gonna be huge. We've got, 2 huge matches here returning from Wrestle Kingdom 11. You got Tanahashi, Naito, fuck Tanahashi, and Okada, Omega. Go Kenny Omega! Win that IWGP Heavyweight title. It is gonna be amazing, and I am going to be sure over the weekend to stay off of all the appropriate media because I will not have that shit spoiled at all. I mean,
thankfully, it's on the 11th, so it's on a Sunday, so we have 1 less day to be spoiled compared to the Best of Super Juniors finals.
Dude, I'm just ghosting all media that day, and then Monday afternoon, because we'll be going live at what, Ashton, 3 p.m.
3.
You think?
Yep, 3 p.m.
Yeah, we'll be going live at 3 p.m. with that, guys. This may be a great batch of New Japan live reactions because not only that. We got my boy Suzuki is about to break a motherfucker's neck against Goto, who has the audacity to come after that Never Openweight Championship. So, I mean, every title is on the line. I'm not going to give a full card rundown, but it's going to be amazing.
You're not exaggerating, though. Literally every title in New Japan is on the line.
Exactly. Guys, this is huge. This is going to be an amazing New Japan show. I don't know if they would regard this as kind of their equivalent to SummerSlam, but they must because this is fucking, gargantuan. And
it is. Guys. Yeah, Dominion is basically the New Japan SummerSlam, yeah.
So yeah, guys, I mean, man, I feel like this outro's been ridiculously long. I apologize, everybody, but I mean, again, a lot of stuff coming. So we got that on Monday. Then Tuesday, we got Cliff's, Patreon request. 3 different singles matches we're going to be live reacting to. Should be really cool. Then we'll be doing SmackDown live reactions. Then, of course, Wednesday, it's Lucha Underground live reactions and review. And still won't be any NXT next week. And then I think that's it for right now, unless something changes. That'll be all we got next week. But yeah, next week's looking pretty stacked, guys. This rounds out this week. Thank you all who tuned in and listened to me make the pitch of my goddamn life. Don Draper, eat your heart out. This is what a salesman looks like. And guys, until then, tune in and peace out.